Mnemosyne. Altars of reflection. Assessment. Access restricted. Decryption key QF4LYZX16G$IKO-006. Rep number 217-Hive-SAV. Agent LIN-357. Subject Altars of reflection. Assessment. 1. I arrived on site and made my way into the altar space. It doesn't appear to have changed much, if at all, from earlier provided telemetry. As predicted, there were barriers to access. Several of the lucent brood obstructed my passage and were subsequently dispatched without much trouble. Additionally, the same complication as previously reported blocked the way. Hive runes. Passing their nature and repetition of specific patterns was required to gain full access to the altar. 2. On the topic of the presented resistance, there were significantly fewer Hive defenders than could have been mustered, given intelligence on available forces. Based on the token nature of this resistance and the fact that VIP number 7282 surely knows that Guardians have been here, it can be assumed that the defense is not a sincere attempt to keep us out. Historical precedent exists for setting a guard on a location or item to make it appear more attractive. Precedent also exists for opening the way for Guardians to participate in Hive sword logic. I do not yet have reason to believe this is taking place here, especially given the severance of number 7282's connection to the worm gods that have otherwise led her species. But it does not pay to be incautious around the Hive. 3. Once appropriate precautions were taken against any further incursions, I deployed sensors to record what data is possible, focusing on the central altar and its exterior boundaries. Simultaneously, it was necessary to assess the available space for myself. Impressions follow. It is more aesthetically appealing than we usually associate with Hive. Only the structures bear vague resemblance to those on Luna. The colours are pleasing, far removed from scarlet and rot, and the area lacks jagged edges or significant quantities of bone. Structurally, it is a space clearly built to highlight the central area, and indeed, it draws one to the altar itself. All told, in architecture alone, the creator demonstrates a clear evolution, presumably mirroring her own. 4. On the topic of the structure, although the available space does not appear to have walls, there is a definite boundary. Matter grows foggy, and there is a strong sense of pushback when moving away from the center. Initially, I believed this to be a function of the architecture, but significant willpower was required to force myself to look further into testing the concept. That alone suggests it should be investigated more. Conscious of the bias in doing so, I am marking it for later experimentation, as it would involve straying from the central objective. Further data forthcoming. Message ends.